In the murky depths of Brazil's Guanabara Bay, where the sea's embrace is both tender and treacherous, a peculiar discovery lay submerged for centuries, a silent testament to an enigmatic past. The bay itself was a cathedral of brine, its waters veiled in greenish haze. The light from the sun filtered through the canopy of mangroves and cast wavering spears upon the sand. Fish darted in ghostly swirls. The muffled hum of their fins was swallowed by the cold hush that pressed against every surface beneath. It was 1982 when Robert Marx, an old sea dog with a reputation for turning wreckage into wealth, set his sonar pings to the dark expanse. He had chased ghosts in the deep for decades, but this time he felt an unease that went beyond the usual thrill of discovery. As his transducer cut through the black water, a cluster of faint echoes rose like a choir of forgotten voices. The sight unfolded before him as if it were a tomb spread across an area equivalent to 3 tennis courts, 15 miles from the shore, where the waves kissed the land with salt-laden breath. Underwater grass swayed in the current, and shafts of light pierced the surface, illuminating the amphorae that lay scattered like skeletal graves. Their terracotta bodies, once warm with clay, now stood cool against the cold embrace of the bay, their surfaces mottled with barnacle growth, and the faint ghosting of ancient paint. Marx's fingers traced a rim of one such jar, feeling its uneven edge under his palm. He could almost taste the dust that had settled upon it for centuries, smell the dampness of the water, hear the low thud of sea creatures moving around it. The amphorae, some intact, others broken into shards, were unmistakable in their form, twin-handled vessels with a wide belly, tapering to a narrow neck, designed to cradle goods across vast distances. They were Roman amphorae, the type that carried wine and olive oil from the Mediterranean to far-off lands. Their shapes matched those of jars, stamped on the walls of Ostia's warehouses in the 3rd century CE. The idea that these ceramic relics would wash up in the heart of South America was a question whose answer lay not in history books, but in the dark water itself. Marx, ever the hunter, entertained 2 theories with equal fervor. In his mind's eye, he saw a Roman navigator, his ship caught in a tempest beyond the known horizon, miscalculating his course and finding himself drawn into the Atlantic, steering toward what he mistook for land. He imagined that desperate man, eyes wet with salt and hope, setting his compass to a point where no chart could guide him. In another scenario, Marx pictured a mutiny on a Roman trading vessel bound for India, its crew, spurred by fear or ambition, turning the wheel toward an unknown destiny. The ship, a stout hull of oak, would have carried not only spices, but also the hopes of Rome's distant merchants. And in the chaos of revolt, it might have been cast off into the black. Yet even these vivid imaginings could not quell the weight of history that pressed upon Marx's thoughts. The Romans, though engineers of roads and aqueducts, had little appetite for oceanic exploration beyond the Mediterranean's borders. Their navy was formidable within its reach, but there are no records of ships venturing beyond the Red Sea into the open Atlantic. The very idea of a Roman vessel drifting to Brazil seemed almost a ghost story whispered in taverns. Still, the Bay of Jars, so it came to be called, remained a riddle wrapped in mystery. Its presence forced one to confront a possibility that Europeans, and perhaps other civilizations, had reached the Americas long before the Portuguese set sail in the late 15th century. It was as if the sea itself were holding its breath, waiting for humanity to uncover its secret. Marx, after weeks of mapping the amphorae with his sonar, stood on a pier and watched the waves lap at the shore. He thought of the silent jars beneath the water and whispered to himself, his voice echoing against the stone walls of the dock and mingling with the low calls of distant seabirds.
What stories lie in the depths? What ghosts have I awakened?
In the quiet that followed, a fisherman named João drifted past, his boat bobbing on the bay's calm. He stopped and asked Marx about the jars, his voice rough as river stones. He mused,
You think they're from Rome. Maybe they're just old trade goods from some forgotten merchant.
Marx smiled, his eyes reflecting the moonlit water.
Or maybe they're a reminder that history is never truly settled.
The Bay of Jars remained then, a haunting testament to the unknown, an underwater field where time's secrets lay buried beneath waves, waiting for the next curious soul to pry them free.